I can't just even imagine why a mother would decide to leave her child with her mother in the village, and you are far away taking care of yourself. The day you decide to bring a child into this world, be prepared that if you are going to drink Gary in your house, the child will drink Gary with you. You're all welcome to another beautiful day with Say It As It Is with O. Today's story is from Yabaleftonline, and it has the caption that a grandmother is being arrested for using her 7-year-old granddaughter as a sex slave alongside the man who sexually abused the minor. Police have arrested a grandmother who allegedly trades her 7-year-old granddaughter for sex alongside a man who sexually abuses the minor. In a video circulating online, the little girl shared graphic details of her experience with a member of a vigilante group in Ogbaku community of Imo State. The minor accused the man, who identified himself as Miracle, of sexually molesting her every time he comes around. She also narrated gory details of what he does to her body each time he visits. According to the little girl, her grandmother charges between 1,000 to 1,500 naira for men to have sex with her. She further revealed that she is staying with her grandmother in Imo State because her mother lives in Lagos. This is the most absurd story that I would be reading in recent time. A grandmother exchanging her granddaughter for sexual escapades for the paltry sum of 1,000 naira to 1,500. I'm not saying it's something good that she should be doing, but what I'm saying is that this is the most absurd thing that I would be hearing. A grandmother is a grandmother should be the first security that a child should have in a situation like this. Your mother, that is your daughter, who is the mother to your granddaughter, leaves her child with you because obviously she cannot take care of the girl and she needs to go get better things. Leaves her daughter with you, the grandmother, to look after the child. And for whatever reasons that comes to your mind is that you need to exchange this girl for money. You do not even put into consideration how little this child is, 7 years of age. I have a daughter of the same age and I know how protective I am of my little girl. I cannot imagine in this wide world that somebody would think that if there's a way to make money is for her to exchange a little girl to an adult. And the adult of a man doesn't have the sense to think that this young girl is a child to him. This is a child. She hasn't even come of age mentally, physically, everything wise. This person is still a child, and then you think of sleeping with her for whatever. I think this grandmother will be one of those grandmothers that we say are from the pit of hell. She is the epitome of everything wickedness and much more. If you do not have money to take care of yourself and the little girl in question, why accept to take care of her? Why accept her from her mother and put her in your custody if this is what you are going to return back to the mother? And of course, the mother in question needs to be punished. Now, this makes me to think and tell myself that obviously maybe her mother might have had her as a result of rape, or is it, yes, rape, teenage pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy. I can't just even imagine why a mother would decide to leave her child with her mother in the village, and you are far away taking care of yourself. The day you decide to bring a child into this world, be prepared that if you are going to drink Gary in your house, the child will drink Gary with you. If you live in the most uncomfortable rooms or houses, let your child stay with you. The truth is that nobody can look after your child any better than you. And I know this girl would have been thinking, oh, my mother, my mother, my mother. My mother is the best, best bet to look after my child. So let me take my child over to my mother. She took her child over to her mother. And this is what we are hearing. A grandmother that would give out her own granddaughter, her own blood for this kind of sexual escapade. And, if somebody hears this story, you'll be thinking that, oh, maybe the child is is advanced in age. But when you read the story, you hear it's a 7-year-old child. For goodness sake, a 7-year-old child is not matured in any ways. That's still a baby. She is supposed to be nurtured, loved, and cared. Now, this grandmother, who should not even be termed a mother in the first place, did this despicable act. I hope now that this story has come to the limelight, the necessary bodies would take necessary actions and steps, first by arresting the mother and arresting the man in question. And they should also go and look for the mother of this child. She too needs some form of punishment. This is the most inhuman act that any human can dish out to another human. Let's go over to the comment section and hear what people have to say about this. The first comment I have today is from Nancy, who says it's finally finished. No more heart of a mother. The world is so evil now. I pray to every woman out there, may we be alive to train our kids by ourselves. And that is one prayer that we should not frown at. The day you decide to bring children into this world, I think one of the most important prayers you should be praying is that God, keep me alive, keep me in good health so that I can look after my children. Nobody needs to look after my children because nobody is going to give your children the best treatment. Like I said, if it's Gary you are drinking, your children should be with you and drink the Gary. Whatever form of suffering that you are suffering, let your children suffer, because that's comfortable life that you think is outside that you want them to have, and you ship them over to that person's place, you will be amazed that they are not getting it. Goodness says, why not sell herself instead of the granddaughter who couldn't defend her little self? People whom were supposed to protect her turned out to be her nightmare and pain. May God heal the little girl. I pray she gets the treatment that she deserves, because this is traumatic. She will need therapy for a long period of time going forward, because this is, to start with it, she doesn't even know what this is all about. Then it's brought upon her. She's going to look at the world with some kind of hatred. She's going to look at anything that has to do with man with some kind of, bitterness and hatred. And I cannot blame her because of what she has been faced. So I pray that she finds healing, and I pray that she gets the necessary therapy and help. Miriam says, give her 120 years in prison and give the guy 90 years in prison. Sell all what they have and make sure that the 7-year-old girl returns back to school. I hope and I pray that she does get the necessary punishment alongside the man, and may her conscience continue to disturb her so that she will know that she has committed crime against man and against God. Julia says, one of my prayer points is to stay alive and raise my kids by myself. You can't trust anyone again, not even your so-called family members. The world is evil. So many atrocities happening these days. How do some men even find little children attractive? That is the question that we are all asking. How can you find a little child sexually attractive? How can you find a child who is yet to grow on her body? Because the truth is, there is nothing, nothing appealing. There's nothing sexually appealing on the body of a little child that you would be lusting after it. It's crazy. Pius says, this is very unfortunate. Why will a grandmother reduce herself to that extent? Why not put herself for the business? And that's another thing. If you think that you want to go into, or if you think that prostitution is the best way to make money, and you are seeing that your granddaughter can do the business, why don't you consider yourself? After all, you are more mature than the girl in question. You know how to go about it. Now you put a little girl who is still not able to differentiate between her right and her left into such acts. This is pure wickedness, and I would say straight from the pit of hell. He says, Calabar man stood so low, they should be made to face the full weight of the law. Obosi says, hey, what is the land turning into? Different styles of evil every day. Grandmothers that normally serve as protection to their grandchildren. Well, that's what we get when grandmothers drag social media with their grandchildren. Bolaji says, sometimes please don't post that such person is arrested to avoid heartbreak for people like me. Just inform me that such person was killed immediately so I can gladly say thank God. We understand what you're saying, Bolaji. This says, whenever I look at myself, I can't help but to thank my Creator for the protection He gave me through my childhood. Whenever I look back and I see what I've gotten, tears always roll down my cheek. I survived. Take heart, my child. The world is full of evil. I pray you find peace. And from all of us here on Say It As It Is with O, we pray that this little girl gets the necessary treatment. Jane says she doesn't deserve to be called a grandmother. She's so mean and wicked. I pray that the minor will receive quick healing of body, mind, and soul. Honestly, I can't but agree with you, Jane. Such a woman does not deserve to be called a woman before we even say a grandmother, because her act doesn't, speak of someone who has given birth before. Because you begin to ask and question, where is the love? Where is the love that she had for her daughter, that she couldn't pass the love down to her grandchild? She doesn't deserve to be called a woman, neither does she deserve to be called a grandmother. Helen says the same thing as Jane. Where is that bond that keeps grandmothers and grandchildren together again? What is really happening? Helen, it's the same question everybody is asking. What is happening? What is the world turning into? And Jennifer says, just 7 years. May God have mercy. This woman should have used herself. Why the little girl? In all this evil that is happening, why won't God be angry? If man were to be God, I don't know how it would have been. Please, God, show us your mercy. And that's what the world needs. The world needs the mercy of God with all that is happening. It needs the mercy of God so that man can take a step backwards and remember that it is with love that we grow. It is with love that we can, take ourselves to where we want to be. Alfred says, you see this little girl of 7 years her grandmother used to treat for sexual molestation just for 1,500. I bet she will grow to hate men. I saw pain and trauma in the heart of that little girl, a pain she will never forget nor neither forgive. She was robbed of her virginity. Alfred, you are through. This little girl, if she doesn't get the necessary treatment, the mental therapy, and everything to put her back on the right track, she's going to grow and hate the society. She's going to grow and become a menace to the society. She's going to grow, and you see, this very thing that we are frowning at right now, she might grow and see it as a business, all because of the mistake of one grandmother somewhere. So I pray that the necessary bodies look into this and give the girl the necessary treatment so that it doesn't turn out to be a problem for us in the future. Guys, this is all the comments that I can take. There are so many comments on this story because this is the most inhumane thing that you can do to another person. There are so many comments. I wish I could read all of them out to you, but I can't. If you have anything you'd love to drop down concerning this story, I'd love to read it in the comments section. And remember, this is Say It As It Is with O. If you're yet to be subscribed, do subscribe, turn on your post notification, and give this video a thumbs up. I'll come your way with another story, the good, the bad, the ugly comments. And remember, these stories are the breaking and the trending news. Till I come your way, it's bye.